Alright guys, I'm super excited because now we are going to finally install AndroGuard and we have a quick look into the Analyze option. In the next section we take a look at the call graph and then into the flow graph. So there's lots of hands-on time. Alrighty, let's start installing AndroGuard. Therefore we go into the well-famous internet and we search for installation AndroGuard. And the first link is regarding to AndroGuard, read the docs. Let's have a look over here. This is the, I guess, official documentation of AndroGuard, and yeah, also have a look into this because there are lots of useful hints over there. If you want to install AndroGuard, we can use the pip installation management because AndroGuard is written in Python. Therefore, we can simply run pip install-u AndroGuard. But be careful. This paragraph over here mentions that AndroGuard only works on Python 3 and higher, Python 3.6 and higher. And if you're using an Ubuntu 18.04 and you're running pip, you might be using Python 2 to install AndroGuard. And then you will end up in a mess. So this tool might not be working correctly. Therefore, we are going to use pip 3 to make sure we are also using Python 3. Alrighty, so let's have a look. I open a new terminal and let's check if we have pip 3 installed. No, we haven't, but we can simply install it by running sudo apt-get install Python 3-pip. I'm entering the correct password and now the pip 3 is going to be installed. This only takes some seconds. Now we can install AndroGuard with pip 3, install-u to also upgrade those package names, and we use not Android, AndroGuard, this way. We do not provide a magic or a GUI parameter, we install this whole AndroGuard bundle right now. Now these additional requirements are going to be installed also, so the dependencies of AndroGuard. And after this has been finished, let's figure out if it's working. We get a bunch of warnings over here and yeah, these might be important, so let's see. If we type in AndroGuard, we can see command not found, and that's the case because those binaries are not within our path variable. I'm going to enlarge this and we have a look into this. We are in the home directory and here we have a hidden directory named local. If we go into this, we have this bin directory over here and here we have now the AndroGuard binaries regarding to the Python package. We need to include this into our path variable and then we can run this afterwards. So we take this and we open the ZSHRC. We should have been a lot of practice in this right now. So we go into this point and we extend this path, add this colon at the end. And now we update this ZSHRC. And we go into the home directory back again and we run AndroGuard. AndroGuard has been installed and that was the whole installation process. Super nice, right? So let's figure out what we have here. Let's have a look at the AndroGuard options. So we've got this Analyze module, we've got this Call Graph module, and we've got this Decompile module. We will discuss them in detail. Beside this, we also got an extra option for return package name, version number, and stuff like this of the APK. We can also directly pass this resources ARSC into an XML format, or we can also take a look at the Android manifest XML. Regarding to mass decompiling Android applications, this might come handy, but regarding to a single application, we do not get a real advantage out of this. But however, let's have a look at the Analyze option. We go into the apps directory and we go into SpacePang and we load our SpacePang application into this. So we say AndroGuard, and if you want to get a specific help menu, you can type AndroGuard, then the command, for example, analyze, and then --help. And then we get a help menu only for this command. And here we can see Analyze is pretty simple. We can provide an option, which is a session path, but we do not have a session created yet. And then afterwards, simply the APK. Therefore, we have to run AndroGuard, Analyze, and then the APK name. I'm gonna clear this and run this. And now this APK is going to be passed into AndroGuard, and we have now an IPython 3 shell. AndroGuard also created three main objects, A, D, and DX. A is regarding to the APK, D is regarding to the Dalvik VM format, and DX is regarding to some Analyze option. We will only focus on these two, A and DX. The nice thing about IPython is you can type in a dot and then hit the tab button multiple times, and then you get an support on which methods or variables might be available. So let's see what we've got here. We've got a method, for example, getActivities. And if we run this, we can see this application only contains one activity. We've also figured this out in the manifest section, but yeah, here we can also prove this once again. What else do we have? We can get, for example, the Android manifest in an XML format. We can get the application name, information about the certificate, information about the DEX file format, files, CSV thumbs, main activity, and other stuff. I'm going to clear the screen because then I guess it's easier to read. There we go. Okay. So here we have now a nice overview about the A object in Androgad, but all of them can be done manually, and we already done most of them in the last sections. And I like to do the manually approach a little bit more because we have more control over this application and where things might go wrong. But yeah, this can be handy for you if you want to analyze an APK with a Python shell. All right, let's see what we've got in the DX object. Here we have the analyze module, and we can see, okay, we can find classes, methods, strings. We can also create a call graph over here, but we use the Androgad specific call graph command because afterwards we need to deal with this file and we will have lots of functions over there and we need to filter them, and therefore we use a different tool to handle all these tasks. But it's nice to see it over here also. All right, we can also find classes, methods, and things like this. For example, if we run get classes, Androgad is going to fetch all classes that are available in this APK. And we can see there are a lot available over here. So if we scroll up, these are a lot of classes. We have done this approach manually with Dex2Jar and JDGUI or with JADX. But if you want to mass decompile or mass analyze applications, this Python interpreter can come handy. I'm not going to use this very often. I just rely on the call graph and flow graph. But this just depends on my personal preference that I like to do the manual approach. All right, this was a quick introduction into the analyze module of Androgad. In the next section, we take a look at the call graph command. And this one is really super nice. We will create a call graph for a special or certain challenge I have prepared for you. And then we will also figure out how we can deal with this file format, because we will have tons of functions over there, and there's a really nice tool which does the visualization process for us and which is super easy to handle. Okay, feel free to play around a little bit with the analyze module over here, and afterwards I'm going to see you in the next section.